What happens if silver breaks this level? The immediate reaction: silver is sitting on a level that could change everything for weeks, maybe even months. Prices dropped into the same zone and bounced again and again. Each bounce builds confidence. But here's the real question. What happens if that level finally breaks? Not a small dip, not a quick fake out, not a real breakdown. Because if it does, silver doesn't just drift lower, it accelerates. And most investors are not prepared for how fast that move could happen. This level isn't random. It's a high liquidity zone. It's where large institutional positions were built. It's where heavy futures contracts are stacked. It's where stop-loss orders are sitting just below price. It's where options exposure increases. That's why buyers keep defending it. There's positioning there. There's memory there. But markets have a rule most people ignore. The more time support is tested, the weaker it becomes. Think of it like a door. Push once it holds. Push 5 times, it starts cracking. If silver breaks this level with real volume, 3 forces activate almost instantly. First, stop-loss cascades. Retail traders place stops just below support. When price breaks, those stops turn into market sell orders. That creates automatic selling pressure, which pushes price lower, which triggers more stops. That's how acceleration begins. Second, algorithms. Modern markets are system-driven. Algorithms detect structural breakdowns and momentum shifts. They don't trade emotion, they trade signals. If support fails, they add short exposure. Speed increases. Moves that normally take days can happen in hours. Third, psychology. As long as support holds, confidence survives. When it breaks, confidence changes instantly. And markets move fastest when confidence cracks. Now here's the key question. Does breakdown automatically mean collapse? Not necessarily. Sometimes a breakdown is a liquidity event. Large players need liquidity to build positions. Where's liquidity sitting? Below support. That's where stop losses live. So price can break down, trigger fear, clear weak hands, and then reverse violently, which is why the reaction after the break matters more than the break itself. In the next part, we'll talk about when a breakdown becomes dangerous, when it becomes an opportunity. When a breakdown becomes dangerous or explosive, now let's go deeper. Silver doesn't move in isolation. If this level fails, macro forces could be involved. A stronger US dollar, rising bond yields, risk-off sentiment in equities, slowing industrial demand expectations. Silver is unique. That dual identity makes it sensitive and volatile. So a breakdown might not be manipulation, it might simply be macro pressure. But here's when it becomes serious. If price breaks support and stays below it for multiple days, the volume expands aggressively, if open interest builds on the short side, if physical demand doesn't absorb the drop, that's when you're not looking at a dip. You're looking at structural momentum. That's when acceleration becomes trend, and trends reshape markets. Now consider the opposite scenario. What if the breakdown is absorbed quickly? What if buyers step in aggressively? What if volume spikes but price recovers? That's often a sign of liquidity absorption, and sometimes the strongest rallies begin right after the scariest breakdowns. Extreme fear often precedes extreme reversals. So what happens if silver breaks this level? Short-term, volatility. Mid-term, sentiment reset. Momentum-driven, cascade. Best case, liquidity sweep before expansion higher. The key is not predicting. The key is observing how price behaves after the level is challenged. Smart investors don't panic at support. They study reaction. They watch volume. They watch positioning. Because structure reveals intention. Intention drives markets. If you want structured silver analysis without hype, without fear-driven narratives, make sure you subscribe. If this level breaks, I'll cover exactly what signals to watch next. And I want to hear from you. Silver breaks this support. Do you believe we see a real collapse? Or is it setting up for a squeeze? Comment below. This market rewards preparation, not emotion. And the investors who understand structure always move first. I'll see you in the next video.